Can we still enjoy art if we know the artist has been immoral?
Welcome to Plain English, the podcast that goes at the right speed for English language learners. Listen now and read the transcript online at plainenglish.com. Now, here's Jeff, your host for today's episode.
Hey everyone, I'm Jeff. JR is the producer, and you are listening to Plain English, the best podcast for learning English. On today's program, can you separate the art from the artist? The age-old question has become a lot more difficult in the Me Too era. Check out today's episode transcript at plainenglish.com/126. And don't forget, if you're interested, you can connect with us on WhatsApp. The phone number is +1 312 967 8757. And don't forget that +1 ahead of the number. Send me a message on there. Add me as a contact. That part is important. If you do so, then you will get the occasional special message from JR or from me. Like I said on Thursday, not exactly sure how I'll use it, but I'm excited to connect with some of you on WhatsApp. +1 312 967 8757. Today's episode is really long, so let's not waste any more time. Here is a partial list of entertainers and artists who, in their personal lives, have been found to have either abused or sexually harassed the people around them. Most famously last year, director and producer Harvey Weinstein, comedian Louis C.K., actor and comedian Bill Cosby, actor Kevin Spacey, comedian and former U.S. Senator Al Franken, journalist Charlie Rose, journalist Matt Lauer, singer Chris Brown. And singer R. Kelly has now been dropped by RCA Records after the release of a 6-episode documentary series called Surviving R. Kelly. You can Google that if you want to know the exact content, but I bet you can guess. All of this puts us, the consumers of entertainment, in a somewhat awkward position. We don't want to support the kind of behavior we read about in these cases. But it's also hard to sit down and enjoy their work without thinking about what we know in the back of our mind. So how should we deal with this as consumers of these entertainment products? For a long time, the easy answer was separate the art from the artist. Just put it out of your mind. As a listener, you shouldn't have to evaluate everything you know about a singer before you can just enjoy his or her songs. According to this view, you can punish the artist, but the actual artwork should enjoy a special place separated from the morals of the person producing it. You're free to enjoy, criticize, or think about a piece of art, whether it's a movie, a song, or a painting, without having to weigh the personal morals of the artist. Art enjoys a special place in society and performs a valuable service to our culture. So according to this view, we should be free to enjoy or not enjoy a work of art without worrying about the people behind it. You can pass judgment on the person separately. The idea is separate the art from the artist. The opposite reaction is to erase everything a disgraced artist has produced from memory. It's not right anymore, this view says, to watch the movie Shakespeare in Love, produced by Harvey Weinstein, or to binge on the Netflix series House of Cards, starring Kevin Spacey. Surely, we can all live without these works. There are other movies, other TV shows, other recording artists that we can enjoy without supporting the work of people found to have abused their positions of power. And besides, wouldn't it be hard to enjoy certain works of art knowing the bad stuff about the people behind them? Media companies are taking sides in this debate. HBO, for example, has erased all Louis C.K. content from its archives. Netflix, by contrast, has kept House of Cards, starring Kevin Spacey, and its full Louis C.K. archives available for streaming. Totally erasing all previous works of art by a scandalous artist doesn't sit well with me. Take the movie Shakespeare in Love. Yes, it was produced by Harvey Weinstein. No, we don't want to support Weinstein or enhance his legacy. We certainly don't want him earning additional royalties when we stream his work. But it starred Gwyneth Paltrow, who was actually one of Weinstein's victims. She won the Oscar for Best Actress that year. If we don't watch Shakespeare in Love because of Harvey Weinstein, aren't we at the same time punishing everyone else who collaborated on that movie, including Gwyneth Paltrow? Same goes for Judi Dench, who also won an Oscar for her performance in the same movie. She had nothing whatsoever to do with the Weinstein scandal. Should we discard all of her work in the same movie? Hundreds, if not thousands, of people collaborate to make a Hollywood film. Do we have to approve of every one of them before we relax and enjoy the show? So neither one of these two extremes is very satisfying to me, but there is a tentative middle ground which I think actually does work for me. Here's where some people draw the line. Does the content of the work have anything to do with what we know about the person? Louis C.K., the comedian, had a semi-biographical show on Netflix, which I thought was generally funny and well done. But if I watched it again today, knowing what we do about his off-screen personality, I don't think I would find it funny anymore. I won't go into details, but a lot of what's in that show seemed funny and even endearing at the time, but would seem quite different today. So I think I'm done with Louis C.K. I've enjoyed a lot of Kevin Spacey movies, and I still think I want to watch House of Cards. After all, he plays a villain in House of Cards. It might even enhance my enjoyment, knowing the villain in the show was a villain in real life. But I think the movie American Beauty, for example, would be hard to watch again. If you've seen that movie, then you know what I mean. Google some of R. Kelly's or Chris Brown's lyrics, and you'll see that some of those become even more problematic, knowing what we do about their lives off stage. We also have to take into account that A, people can change and learn from the past, and B, it's easy to pass judgment on famous people whose lives are in the spotlight when none of us is perfect and none of our personal failings are broadcast on Twitter for everyone to see. We always have to keep both those things in mind. So everyone will draw the line at a different place, and that's okay. I guess the unfortunate thing for me as a consumer is that I even have to think about drawing the line at all. I can hope that recent revelations cause the entertainment industry to reform. If that happens, then consumers of entertainment will be able to spend less time parsing the moral failings of the artists and more time just enjoying the show. Wouldn't that be nice? Time to say hi to a couple listeners. Anavi from Guatemala has been listening for a few months and even shared the podcast with her peers in an online English course that she's taking. So thanks for the free publicity, Anavi. Natasha from Austria is a 25-year veteran of English, but she still listens to keep sharp on her skills. So thanks for listening, Natasha. Also, hello to Carlos from Mexico, from the state of Mexico, in the middle near the capital. Plus, here's something funny. I don't think I've ever met or ever talked to anyone named Igor in my life. And then I heard from 2 listeners named Igor in the same day. The first one to send me a note, Igor M., works in international logistics and says that plain English is fundamental to his English learning. The other, Igor S., is from Brazil and works in biotech and has been speaking English more and more at work. Thanks to both Igors for your notes this week. Also, Michelle in Stuttgart, Germany, says she loves listening to songs in English and even likes them better than songs from her native China. Now that's saying something. Actually, Michelle brings up a good point in her email to me, which is that she also listens to the full speed English podcasts out there, but she listens here to concentrate on the words and listen to the phrases. I do the same thing in Spanish. I listen to one podcast for Spanish learners called Hoy Hablamos, and it's good for building vocabulary and learning how to say things in Spanish. But at the same time, I watch TV and listen to other programs at full speed. So having both is a good mixture, and I bet some of you do the same thing. If it occurs to you to try an audiobook, either in English or in your own language, you can try one out for free with a trial subscription to Audible. Just go to plainenglish.com/book, B-O-O-K, to learn more about how to download a free audiobook in English or in your own language. I'm going to give you a really easy expression today, but it's important, and that expression is to sit well. If something doesn't sit well with you, that means you are uncomfortable with it. It doesn't make you feel very good. The idea of totally erasing all past works of art by artists who have behaved badly, that idea doesn't sit well with me. Alfred Hitchcock was a brilliant director who changed cinema forever. Should we erase all his movies from history because we found out he took advantage of women on the sets? That doesn't sit well with me, as I explained before. But just ignoring all of this, that doesn't sit well with me either. It forces us as consumers to decide where we draw the line. You can see this in politics sometimes. I bet a lot of people who voted for Jair Bolsonaro in Brazil did so because they wanted to see economic change and to see the security situation in Brazil improve. But I also think that many of Bolsonaro's statements probably don't sit well with some of those same supporters. It's true here, too. A lot of people who support Donald Trump say that his statements on Twitter don't sit well with them. You remember Jewel? We talked about that in episode 56, plainenglish.com/56. A lot of doctors like the fact that a less deadly alternative to cigarettes is available, but the fact that so many teenagers are using Juul doesn't sit well with them. Juul says their product is for adults who want to quit smoking, but at the same time, they market the product to their biggest customer block, teenagers who have never smoked in the first place. That doesn't sit well with doctors, and in many places, it doesn't sit well with government regulators either. Thanks for joining us once more. JR and I are so incredibly grateful that you have invited us into your lives. The notes we got this week just illustrate the many, many ways you all use plain English. It is a privilege and an honor, and JR and I are both very thankful to have you with us. If you want to connect with us by email, just visit plainenglish.com/mail, M-A-I-L, to join the email list. You'll get a series of welcome messages from me, plus a special email for every episode with all kinds of additional resources. All for free, all for you at plainenglish.com/mail. And if WhatsApp is more your style, add us as a contact and send a quick hello to +1 312 967 8757. We'll see you right back here on Thursday.